Hello and welcome to today's recording of how to use the remote and office management solution from Fliplet. We also call this solution ROMS. Next slide, please. My name's Ian Broom, I'm the CEO of Fliplet, and I'm going to be joined today by Deb Gosh, a software developer at Fliplet. So what is ROMS? So ROMS is a solution that Fliplet built in 2020 to help organizations manage the risk of COVID-19 in the office. It includes a whole range of different features, which we're going to go through in a second. This presentation has been broken down into two sections. The first is an overview of ROMS features. So this includes a description of what the features are and a quick demo of how to use them. And then in section 2, we're going to go into more detail about how to actually configure each of the features in ROMS. So most of today's presentation will actually be covered in section 1 because we've got quite a lot of features to talk through. And section 2 is actually quite short. It will just cover everything that we haven't been able to cover in section 2. Thanks, Deb. So what are the key features of ROMS? So ROMS has 4 different user types. The first user type is what we call the user, or another way to describe this is the staff member. And so staff members can book desks, they can complete health surveys, they can check in to a booking through a QR code. They can update their weekly status so that users, other staff, other users know where that person's likely to be. It includes a floor plan. Users can order food remotely without having to go to the canteen. It includes a staff directory. It includes office status information. The Office Manager features includes a dashboard, the ability to manage bookings, guest management, health survey information, the ability to manage news, ability to manage offices and spaces within those offices, such as floors, and it includes a office risk assessment. We also have food ordering features, which are managed by a food ordering user. So this includes managing orders that have been placed by staff and responding to them, and also managing products that staff can order. And we have a set of admin features, which includes HIPAA and privacy management features, basically restricting access or deleting sensitive data, promotion or communication capabilities that will help you promote the app, but also notify your users in case there are any problems, and app security and authentication features. So the app is built on top of Fliplet. Fliplet includes a broad set of standard features. Most of these standard features are covered on our website at fliplet.com, but a couple of features that are particularly relevant to ROMS include the fact that Fliplet is cross-platform. This means you end up with a web app and a mobile or tablet app that runs on iOS and Android. Different users will use the web app or the mobile app depending on what they want to do. So for example, if I'm at home and I want to book a desk in the office, I would probably use the web app because I'm probably sitting at my computer already. When I'm actually traveling to the office to complete the health survey or to check in when I get to the office, I'll probably use the mobile app on iOS or Android. Data can be synced from existing databases to the app through our data integration capabilities, which we'll mention a little bit more later on in the presentation. So what's new in ROMS? So currently ROMS is the upgrade of our first version of this type of solution, which we originally called the Return to Office app, or RTO for short. So ROMS improves on the Return to Office solution by enhancing our desk booking functionality. We now include reminder notifications, we've improved validation, and users can cancel bookings. We've improved the health survey by adding in email notifications to office managers when a health survey is completed, particularly if it's a concerning result. We've improved check-in, so users can now check in by scanning the QR code in the camera app on iOS and Android. They don't have to load the ROMS app directly. The app now will auto check out somebody, so you can't be checked in multiple times, and we will verify that you've got a booking before we let you check in. The dashboard has been enhanced to include date range filters and also now includes health survey data. The HIPAA and privacy compliance has been enhanced. view and export health survey information is now available only to office managers instead of it being restricted just to administration users. And download and delete data has been added in. So basically, data can be extracted very easily from the ROMS solution, and then old data can be deleted, keeping in line with government regulations, such as in the UK, you're not meant to keep the data past 21 days. So you can easily just say, I don't want any data older than 21 days, please delete it. You can set the duration and click the delete button. We have added in all of the food ordering features. They're new. We've added in the floor plan, that's new, and we've also enhanced the administration capabilities by making it easy to configure and verify that app security is at its highest level. And we've also added in a series of communication features. Okay, so let's start with booking desks. So basically, the booking desks feature enables users to book desks. Users can select an office and a space. If the space is over capacity, bookings are added to a waitlist. Notifications are sent to the user reminding them of their booking, and office managers can approve and manage bookings. So Deb, would you be so kind to give us a demo of this feature, please?
Absolutely, thank you, Ian. So this is basically the menu screen, which is sort of the first screen you would see after logging in. And the user will click on the book a space button here to where they can see all their current bookings. And they click this plus sign where they're able to go to a form and they can select the entries required to make a booking, an office, a space, a start, end date, arrival time, departure time, how many people want to come in, and any other fields that are required. And once you click request booking, it shows that we already have a booking on this date. So we can pick a future date and make a booking. And here it shows you that your booking has been confirmed. You continue on to view your bookings. One key thing to note here is some bookings are listed as approved and some are listed as in waiting list. The way this works is that every space has a capacity, and if you're under that capacity, then you're automatically approved. But if you're over that capacity, it goes into a waiting list, and the office manager will get notified that somebody is in the waiting list. This is the user workflow. If you're an office manager, you get to see some menu items that are specific to your role. And here you can click on Manage Booking Requests, which would show you the current pending bookings, both approved and in waiting. Here you can decide that you want to change this booking, specifically the status, and you can choose to make it approved or declined, and fill in any other information, and the user will be notified.
Okay, so Deb is using Fliplet Studio, which is our app building and testing tool to demo the app, and we're just using test details, which is why you're seeing admin@email.com, where in real life you would actually see a real user's details in the app, not the test user that we're using. Cool, thanks very much, Deb. All right, so the next feature we're going to demo, which is a new feature we've added, is the floor plan. So you can now view floor plans by office, and once you've found a kind of a space that you want to make a booking for, you can proceed to make a booking. So could you demo this for us, Deb?
Sure. So here the user can choose to go to the floor plan, and this would show you a floor of your office, and you can select different spaces. Here I'm selecting zone 3 as a space, or zone 4. I can even view other floors in my office if they had spaces. In this case, I want to book here in zone 4, so I click on this, and it would fill in the details. So New York office 4, and I can continue on to make a booking as I had shown previously.
Thanks, Deb. Okay, so the next feature is the health survey. So the health survey is designed to collect the symptoms, COVID symptoms of staff, and then determine if they should or shouldn't be allowed to enter the office based on their answers. We automatically send a reminder 2 hours prior to bookings, asking staff to complete the health survey if they haven't completed it within the last 24 hours. The health survey information can be adjusted. Many customers modify this, and it's really easy to change. After you've completed a health survey, you'll either be given an approved or denied status. Many of our customers ask reception to verify that everybody entering the building is able to show an approved status, and that screen will only show information that's been entered into the app within the last 24 hours. Health survey data can be accessed and exported by office managers in the dashboard, which we'll demo a little bit later. So do you want to show us how to complete the health survey, Deb?
Absolutely. So from the menu screen, you would select the health survey option, which would take you to a form. Now, all of these questions are yes or no. And the key thing to note is if you click yes on any one of these questions, you would get a denied status, which I will show here now. So I clicked yes to the first question, and here I was denied. And I can go back to the menu. Now, what would happen in real life is that if you clicked on health survey again, it would take you straight to the denied and will not let you fill in the form again. For the purpose of this demo, I want to show you what happens when you don't have any symptoms and you click no to every single question. It takes you to the approve screen. You can show this to the receptionist as you walk in, and they will hopefully let you in. Now, office managers can manage this data. Here they can go to health survey under the office manager features. Here they can see all the health surveys that have been submitted. You can see what questions have been answered. You can also export the data into a CSV format, and it would download whatever data is visible to you here. And another feature that office managers have is the ability to delete data. So if you were to visit this, here you can choose your health status records. And like in the UK, it's advised that you delete data older than 21 days. You can click submit and you're able to delete the data.
Excellent. Thanks, Deb. Okay, so on to the check-in feature. So when I get to the office, I've passed my health survey and I've successfully made my booking prior to attending the office. I can now check in. So the check-in feature predominantly uses QR codes, which we provide to be printed, and so they can be put up around the office and then users are able to scan them. We remind people automatically to scan the QR codes 15 minutes before their booking's meant to start, so it's quite a timely reminder, and hopefully therefore they don't forget, because without the check-in, office managers and other staff are not able to know who's in the building, which is a bit of a concern when you're trying to track who has and hasn't entered certain spaces. So Deb, would you be able to demonstrate the recording showing what a user does on their mobile phone in order to check in, please?
Yep. So here we have a native app where I've chosen the check-in option, and here it's asking me whether the space is full and I want to continue. Now I can choose to click yes, and an office manager will get notified, and I can continue on, and it will successfully check me into London Zone Office 2. I can also subsequently see here that it's mentioned that you're checked into London Zone 2, and I can check out directly from here. You can also choose to check out using a QR code, which I will show now. You go back to the same screen and you scan the check out QR code, and it will say that you have been successfully checked out.
Excellent, thanks, Deb. And can you show us what happens if you choose not to load the app, but you just use the camera on your smartphone?
Absolutely. So here I've loaded up the camera app on my phone, and this is an iOS device. Here it's asked me to open the app in Safari, and I click on that little window, and it would check me in just in the same way as it has previously.
Okay, fantastic. So basically, if I'm able to access the Return to Office app, I can use the check-in feature on the menu. But alternatively, if I want to load the camera and just scan the QR code without having to load the the ROMS app, I can just do that as well. Great, thanks. Do you want to just demonstrate how I would go about producing the QR codes, please?
Absolutely. So as an office manager, what you would do is you would go to the office status screen, and you select the office that you want to generate the QR codes for, and you'll see a button here which is only visible to you, which is a Manage Spaces button. And next to all of these, you have the print QR code. You click here, and it would generate the check-in and check-out QR code. You're also able to print it to your printer or to PDF, so you can stick it outside your office.
And it's worth noting, if you can just bring up the print preview again, please, before you leave this screen. It's worth noting that not only is the top QR code is the check-in one, the second QR code is the checkout one, and then at the very bottom it actually includes instructions for users who maybe don't have the app about how to get the app. And if you scan that bottom QR code, it actually takes you to the web app. And the web app, if it notices that you're on a smartphone, can instruct you as to how to install the app on your smartphone. So it's a fully kind of integrated solution. If people are not aware what these top two barcodes mean and they just read this this printout, it will explain how they can go about gaining access to the app inside their organization.
Yep. Also, just in case you don't have access to a mobile device, you're still able to check in on the web. If you select the check-in screen on web, here you have a form where you can select office and a space, and it would check you in just as it has with the app.
Great. Thanks, Deb. So our next slide talks about the various notifications. So we've mentioned notifications quite a few times so far in this video, but we wanted to try to summarize how the booking process works. So just walking through this this flow diagram very quickly. As you can see, at the first box, somebody creates a booking. Then they see a list of their bookings with the status approved or in waitlist. Then it's up to the organization to determine if the booking is approved. So if it automatically goes into the waitlist, then an email notification is sent to the relevant office managers for that space and that office, and the office manager can then use the office manager manage booking screen in order to approve or decline a booking. Once the booking is approved, then the user will have a series of notifications automatically scheduled for them. So the first one is a push notification that goes out 24 hours before, and this reminds them of the booking and encourages them, if they're not going to use the booking, to cancel it, because we find generally that the most congested time is right before people want to actually kind of go to the office. That's when you have the most pressure on the restricted desks that are often available. So 24 hours before, a reminder is sent, and if people don't cancel, then 2 hours before they're reminded to complete the health survey if they haven't already completed it within 24 hours, and then 15 minutes before their booking starts, they're reminded to check in, with the hope that they'll receive the reminder when they're quite close to the office, so therefore their likelihood of forgetting is reduced. If they then, and they can, a user can manage their bookings at any time through the My Booking screen, where they can cancel the booking or amend it. And if they cancel it, the office manager will be notified via email as well. So quite a sophisticated set of email and notifications, push notifications that are getting sent to different users. And we wanted to just summarize the kind of sophisticated kind of processes going on in the background with this flow diagram. Next slide, please, Deb. Okay, so let us talk about the dashboard. So the dashboard is a snapshot that gives you a kind of an instantly up-to-date report on the status of bookings, health survey information, and check-in data. It includes a number of charts. It enables you to filter it by office and date range, and you can also export data. So Deb, would you give us a demo of this in computer mode, please?
Absolutely. So if I go back to the menu here and switch to computer mode, our dashboard is mostly designed around using a computer mode, but basically here I can, I have a few options to choose from. I choose my office, and I can choose the date range in which to show data. There's a chart which shows the office booking status. So this shows the total capacity, how many bookings I have in this time, and the current checked-in stuff. This shows the current check-ins broken down by space, listed for each space. I can shows the capacity, how many people are booked and checked in. Here we have tables for check-in data, which shows the admin data here and the health status, whether it's approved or denied, check-in, check-out timestamps. And I also have the booking data table, which shows all the bookings for the date range that's selected, including the health status for that day, We also have the ability to export this data to CSV. It would just download a CSV for you for both these tables. Yep.
Thanks, Deb. Great, so next is our weekly status feature. So the weekly status feature is meant to be a really fast way for staff to communicate to other staff what their plans are for that week, whether they're working remotely, whether they're unwell, whether they're going to be in the office, etc. The app automatically reminds people to update their status if they haven't, and all the information is available in the staff directory. Deb, could you demonstrate how to set the status and also how to view everybody else's status, please?
Absolutely. So if I switch back to mobile mode and go back to the menu, here you can choose to update your status by clicking at the option on the top. There's a set of options for each day of the week, and this is for the current week. I can choose I'm going to be at home, home on Wednesday, and going to be in the office on Friday. And yeah, you can just submit your status here. In order to view your status and other people's statuses, you can go to the directory. Here you will see everyone's status listed out here in a convenient fashion, and also listed here along with when they last updated it and information about the user.
Excellent. Thanks, Deb. Okay, so next we're going to just talk briefly about the staff directory. So the staff directory is a directory of staff, as the name suggests. It makes it really easy to find information about other staff members and place a telephone call, an email, or possibly view their LinkedIn or any other information about that user that you've linked into the app. This is a very common feature that our customers integrate with a back-end database because they don't want staff to have to input information into this screen, but they do understand the value of it. And there's a search and filter capability as well to make it very quick and easy to find via mobile or web the staff member that you're looking for. And all the information in the staff directory can be customized. So often customers will bring a data set, often exported from an existing database, and we will adjust the staff directory with the customer to suit their data needs. So yeah, could you show us some of these additional features, please, Deb?
Yeah, so here you have the ability to email, call, or view the LinkedIn page for the user. And we have the ability to filter by office. You can also filter by department. And you're able to bookmark certain people as well.
Excellent, thanks. Okay, so we have an office status screen that we saw briefly a few minutes ago. This gives you the ability to view a list of offices and spaces that are available inside that office. Each space can have capacity and availability information. You're also able to book a space based on its availability. You can search and filter offices. You can also see the office status information, such as whether the office is open or closed or partially open. And as we saw earlier, you can print the QR codes for spaces. So we'll briefly show you kind of the information that's available on the office status screen again.
Yep. So if I go to the office status screen, here I'm able to see a list of offices, the status being open, closed, or open fully. And here I can see the user will be able to see a breakdown of every single space that's in that office. What is the capacity, aka the desk, and how many are currently open, and some more details about who to contact and the notes about the capacity. Here I can choose, I could find that there's 5 desks open here, so I can choose to click book, and it would fill in the details, and you can continue to book as you have previously.
Excellent, thanks, Deb. So we also have a news feed. So the news feed is predominantly used by our customers to transfer information specifically related to offices and COVID restrictions. But some organizations have chosen to kind of take up this feature and use it as a more broad internal news feed. So you're able to view news, you're able to filter by the office, you're able to comment on news and mention other staff. If you mention another staff member, they will be notified through a push notification that they've been mentioned. Which can be quite useful to encourage people to review the posts. And office managers can post news. And so therefore enabling office managers to very rapidly distribute information about their office out to ROMS users. Also, when a post is created, a notification can be sent to everybody who is associated with that office. So yeah, Deb, are you able to show us the newsfeed and also how you create a news item, please?
Absolutely. So here's the news feed, which shows you a sample of news that's been posted. You can read more about it in the detail view. You're able to like, bookmark, and comment as well. And also, we have filters. You can filter by category or filter by office. Yeah,
Can we
and
create a news item? Just click the plus button.
yep. So basically, this allows a user, an admin, to create a news item. Here, they can notify users of this post, which is broken down by their office or state, region, or even country. They can also enable social sharing, which will give you a link so you can post it to your social media. Yep.
Thanks, Deb. Okay, so our food ordering features are a new set of features that we added into ROMS and weren't previously available. This is designed to make it really easy for staff to order food from the canteen or catering services. The idea is to avoid people moving around the building, standing in queues, and potentially creating congested areas of a building to reduce the likelihood of people coming in contact with colleagues. Notifications are automatically sent not only to the kind of canteen or the catering service, whoever is fulfilling the order, but notifications are also sent back to the end user when their order status changes. You can think of this as an internal version of Uber Eats just for your organization. And canteen staff are able to see and process orders through a special interface as well as manage products. So do you just want to show us how somebody can order food, Deb, and then what the interface looks like to process the orders?
Yeah, so here a user can click on Browse Menu, where they're able to see a list of items that are available for purchase. This item is listed as out of stock, and so it is not available for purchase. But here I can add things to my basket, and I can then view my basket, see what the total price will be, and submit my order here, basically. And so the office managers can also view, or catering managers can also view.
Catering staff can manage
Catering
orders.
staff. Yeah, they can click to view orders, which will list them the orders, and they can go in and mark them as complete or declined. And this page will give you a notice if it needs to be refreshed, if there's found any new orders. Also, office managers can, catering managers, sorry, can manage the products in the inventory, where they're able to select an item and change items, details about the item, and also, for example, mark an item as out of stock.
Yeah, so the food ordering feature is quite extensive. The admin screens the screens that are designed for the catering staff are really designed for access on tablet or computer, with the idea that they would have a tablet or a computer kind of set up, always showing the current list of orders, so they are aware when a new order is received, and then they can fulfill it and then respond back to the person who placed the order. So it's a very simple system, but again, helps to keep people from queuing in congested areas. So next we've got guest management. So a lot of the features that you've seen so far are really focused around staff who have access to this app making bookings, but of course it's not always staff that are in your offices. Sometimes it can be guests. So office managers or people that are given office management access can create guest bookings, and then they can check guests in. Can you demo this for us, Deb?
Absolutely. So go back to the menu screen. Office managers have the ability to click on guest check-in and out. Here they can fill in information about the guest, their email, what office it is, etc. And this form will automatically check you in as well. It will create a booking and it will check you in. So that's all taken care of in one step.
And how would you go about checking a guest out once that's been completed? Do they do that via the manage booking screen?
Yeah, that's basically the idea. So just as the way we've shown previously, you can go to the manage booking and check the user out bookings.
Okay, thanks. All right, next is the Office Risk Assessment. So this enables a very quick risk assessment to be performed. This is something that in the UK government has mandated, but it's also not a bad idea to ensure that standards are being retained. It's a simple checklist. And it can be completed on a daily basis. All assessments then get emailed to a central email address for analysis. So if any action needs to get taken, management can be easily informed. Are you able to show us what the screen looks like?
Yep. So office managers can click on Office Risk Assessment. Here they're able to select an office and fill in information about what kind of checks have been performed and what issues potentially have been found. And obviously, as you said, the notifications are sent out.
Excellent, thanks, Deb. So yeah, this screen is designed to be customized by organizations to suit their needs, and what Deb just showed is just a demonstration of how this screen works. Okay, so we've now added a suite of promotion and communication features. These are designed to help administrators of the app communicate with users of the app. This can be used to help promote the app, but it can also be used to contact users in the case that, say, an office is getting shut because somebody was found to have COVID, or there was maintenance, or there was an emergency, such as a nearby fire or something like this meant that the office wasn't going to be accessible today. It enables people to send emails, push notifications, or text messages, and it uses the staff members' data in order to kind of tell Fliplet server how to communicate with them. The notifications can be targeted to specific users based on profile data. It also has a simple reporting tool, and communications can be duplicated. So if you continuously send the same type of notification, the workflow makes it very, very fast to just make a copy of the last notification you sent and reuse it without having to reconfigure all the settings again. Are you able to just briefly demonstrate how you create a communication in computer mode, please?
Absolutely. So if I go back to the menu screen, admins have the ability to communicate with users, and here they can view previously submitted communications, and they're able to duplicate, as you said. So I can choose to duplicate it, and here I can edit information about what kind of communication type I want it to be: email, push, or SMS. I can choose to send it to a certain segmentation of users, welcoming new users used without a password. I can target specific users, either by some sort of content type or even the country they're in. And here I'm able to generate an email template, which can be used to promote the app or give any vital information. Same with push and SMS messages. You're able to send out sample and real-life communications.
Thanks, Deb. Okay, so we've added in a number of features that we've mentioned about HIPAA and privacy. So the first is that only office managers assigned to a specific office are able to see information from staff in their office. Admin users are able to see all data. So that's a kind of built-in feature. The next is that health survey responses is now visible. Deb demonstrated this feature earlier. You can now export data and delete all data as well. So all of these features have already been demonstrated. We're just kind of clarifying that all of these features have been added specifically in relation to HIPAA or privacy concerns. We've also added some app security and authentication features. We won't be demoing these because some of these are a little bit sophisticated, but just to let you know what they are. So firstly, the app has a screen now that can analyze itself and configure its own security rules inside Fliplet Studio. This is important. It ensures that appropriate access controls have been configured for your app inside Fliplet Studio, and if you don't configure them, you may have a security concern. So not only does the screen analyze if you have configured the rules, but it also makes it very easy to configure the rules correctly for your ROMS app. We have had, since the previous version, the ability for customers to integrate using SSO in order to authenticate their users. Most of our customers have chosen this because they don't want to have to maintain a separate set of users inside Fliplet. So what they do is they link their app up to usually Active Directory, and therefore users are able to authenticate using their existing corporate username and password. And then finally, and a feature that we've added a couple of months ago, is enhanced data source security, which has now been built into the latest version of ROMS. What this means is that the user type is taken into consideration before we provide information. So this is similar to the HIPAA and privacy features on the previous screen, but goes one step further and won't even without the user being verified and a specific user type, no information can be provided from Fliplet server back to the end user. So privacy, security has been a really big emphasis for us in this current version of ROMS. So we've now made it to section 2. Congratulations, everybody. Section 2 goes into how to configure ROMS. So we've covered how to use ROMS in section 1. We haven't focused a lot on how you actually go about configuring the various features. What we're now going to do is explain how if you've chosen to use ROMS, you would configure the app. So let's get started. So firstly, this section assumes you know how to use Fliplet Studio, you know how to use components inside Fliplet Studio, and you know how to launch and update apps. We're not going to be covering these kind of broad general Fliplet topics today. If you're new to Fliplet and you need to learn how to use Fliplet Studio, how to launch apps, and how to use components, I recommend that you visit our support site, help.fliplet.com. And you access our beginner guide, and that will get you started and cover off the basics. The rest of the slides in section 2 of this video will assume you know how to use Fliplet Studio already. So firstly, how to get started. Log into Fliplet Studio, then create a new app inside Fliplet Studio and select ROMS, or the remote and office management solution, and that will give you a copy of the ROMS app in your account, and then you'll be able to proceed with the next steps. So the first thing is to prepare your data. Inside the ROMS template, there are screens that link to a spreadsheet template that you can use to prepare your data. So Deb, are you able to just show this screen, please?
Yep. So here we have the
we have a getting started screen,
yeah.
And it's worth reading this maybe before you get started. And then we also have an Excel import screen, and on this screen it has a link to a Google spreadsheet which you can download as Excel. And it has a series of worksheets, and once you go through and fill in those worksheets, you can then bulk upload the information from the spreadsheet back into Fliplet Studio, which in turn accelerates the load of content. So instead of having to manually configure, for example, every office inside Fliplet Studio, you can configure all of your offices in a spreadsheet and then bulk upload them all at once. Thanks, Steph. So after you've started configuring your data, a couple of other things that we would recommend is brand your app. So you can do this with the appearance settings inside Fliplet Studio. You can add or remove screens and features. So if you know how to use Fliplet Studio, you'll know that you're able to add and remove screens very easily and manipulate those screens and add and remove features. There will be some content across various screens that you'll need to review and update, so I recommend that you just click through every single screen and make a list of any screens that need to be updated. And depending on what changes you make to the data sources, you might need to change component settings. You'll definitely need to change component settings and occasionally some of the screen JavaScript code to include email addresses that you want notifications sent to. And again, for any forms that are sending email notifications, you can just click on the form component, change the settings. If there's any screens that are more complicated, just have a look in the JavaScript code for the screen. We've done our best to make sure that any configuration parameters that need to be done in code are clearly documented, and it should be pretty easy to get that done. Okay, so after you've done that, you'll need to configure users. So if you're using single sign-on, you won't need to configure users. You'll just need to configure single sign-on and make sure that the app security screen is set up to use single sign-on, and then single sign-on will be enforced for all users, and you can ignore the non-single sign-on login screen. If you're choosing not to use single sign-on, you will need to upload a set of users, and you'll need to know how to modify them. Even if you are using single sign-on, you will still need to configure the different user types. Otherwise, the Fliplet app will not know who is a user, an office manager, a catering user, or an administrator. So Deb, are you able to show us how to manage users via Fliplet? And again, I do this in desktop mode. Desktop mode, please.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for anybody configuring users on their phone.
So yeah, you can go to the directory and you can select a user and choose to edit their entry, which and the key thing to note here is the user role, as Ian mentioned. This gives you access to different things in the app, and so this is a key thing. And whether there's an admin, and you can continue on to save the changes.
Okay, and just pause on this screen for a second. Just close that overlay. So the edit, delete options and this plus option in the bottom right-hand corner, they're only appearing because Deb is logged in as an admin user. If Deb wasn't an admin user, he would not be able to see the add, edit, and delete features.
Yep.
Thanks. Okay, so next we'll configure the office and spaces. So this is pretty simple. As an office manager, all you need to do is go to the menu, scroll down, configure your offices, and then when you're in the office, click the Manage Office Space, and then you'll be able to manage your spaces. So Deb, are you able to just show very quickly how you would create an office and then how you would create a space?
Yeah, so you click on this plus sign here under the offices list, which would allow you to create a new office. You can fill in the details and then anything else related to that office and click Save to create a new office. And when you have created the office, it will appear here. I will choose London as an example. And then you can choose to manage spaces here, which is only available to office managers. And here you can also click on the plus sign to create a space and give it a capacity. And you're also obviously able to edit the spaces and edit their capacity information. And same goes with print QR codes. You already covered this, but this is where you would click on to print the QR code.
Yeah, so you have to set up the space before the QR codes become available, of course. Thanks, Deb. Okay, configure floor plan. So this uses our interactive graphic component, and the office and space name must match exactly with the data source for booking link function to work. So Deb, do you want to just show us how you would go about configuring the floor plan?
Yeah, so if you go to the floor plan, you're able to edit it here, where you click on mark map, where you want to add markers to the map. And you can see your currently selected items and you're able to add a new marker. The key thing to note here is that what you enter here must match the space name that you've entered previously, and that will allow you to automatically book, click through and book to the form.
Great, thanks. Okay, so configure health survey. So basically we've got a health survey form, and this is just a form component. So we're not going to go through how you would configure this because the form component is a very common component. But what you must know is that it must be yes/no questions, with yes being kind of the negative answer and no being the positive answer. So basically, if we detect that any of your answers are yes, you will get the red response, which is not approved or denied. And if all of the answers are no, then we'll assume that that person is good to go to the office and we'll give them an approved screen. Okay, next is configure risk assessment. So again, this is just a form component. So you can just go to this screen, update the form component, and configure the email settings to determine where the risk assessments are emailed to. You may also need to update the email settings in the form component But again, all of this is covered in our support documentation, and there's nothing unique about ROMs on this screen. Configuring news. So we've already demonstrated how to add news items. And we've also mentioned that you can specify offices for notifications to be sent specifically just to a segment of your users that have associated themselves with that office. Yeah, so it's a pretty straightforward process when you're ready to start adding news. Configure food ordering. Really, all you need to do here is just configure your products. The Excel template that I mentioned earlier includes a structure for configuring products. We recommend, because it's highly likely you'll have quite a lot of products, we recommend that you enter them all into the spreadsheet template and then bulk upload them, and then you only use the admin screen for managing products if you need to add the occasional product or modify the occasional product. Otherwise, bulk modification through Excel is recommended. Okay, so that concludes everything. As mentioned, most of today's content was covered in the first section, which is explaining what the features are and how they work. And the second section really just covered on the features that we didn't cover and explaining how to upload any missing content. Again, for Fliplet Studio users, they would probably be able to figure out how most of the screens work after viewing this video with marginal additional assistance from Fliplet, because it really does use a lot of standard Fliplet Studio features. But if you do need any assistance, you can always visit help.fliplet.com, which is our support site, and if you search for ROMS, you'll see the Remote and Office Management Solution template documentation, which you can see a screenshot of there. Of course, you can always contact our support team that's available on live chat and email and telephone, and we'll be able to assist you as well. We definitely recommend getting in touch with Fliplet if you're intending to make a significant number of customizations to ROMs, but if you're intending to kind of use the bulk of ROMs in its standard configuration, or at least your initial version, then I imagine that as long as you know how to use Fliplet Studio, you should be fairly competent at making the changes on your own.
That's all.
And I think that concludes today's presentation. So thank you very much for watching this recording, and we hope that that's helped, and we wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.